Hello and welcome to episode 23 of my Mind, Body, Spirit series. Today, in this episode, we're talking about the mind. So I was getting ready to make this video, and I had somebody pop into somebody's communication, popped into my mind and asked to be on my video. So I have a special guest today, just for a little while, like 5 minutes. And this guest wants to talk to you. And I plan on actually having guests on these videos because I think, I've said a lot of stuff, but when you unite two minds, you get amazing results. And then when you unite three minds that are on the same wavelength, amazing things happen. And those are the kind of people I'm going to be sharing with you on these videos. And I think you're going to just absolutely love it. So tonight's guest, I'm not going to tell you his name, but he's a very good friend of mine. And yes, I adore him. He came into my life. I don't know if it's by accident. Oh, I'm to tell you about the black cat. So there's a black cat that's been hanging around my house for the last, week. Came home one night and he was hiding under my horse trailer. And I thought, oh, that's kind of weird. So I thought this cat represented someone in my life. And that's what I had thought. So I was like, oh, it's just someone trying to get into my space energetically. And up until tonight, that's what I believed. So tonight I went to water my horse and I was out on my front deck of my house. And the cat was like around the corner. So I sat down on my deck and I kind of scratched, this is the surface of the deck. I'm like, come on here, kitty, kitty, kitty. So the cat came. He was kind of timid. Oh my goodness, what a beautiful cat, black cat. And he came over to me and he let me pet him, and he was well cared for. He's not a stray. He just lives around there. And he had a message for me, and it was so beautiful. Because remember, I'm telepathic, right? And I can talk. That's how I do my animal whispering, right? It's telepathy. He said to me, God loves you, and I only came here to give you a message. And he said, after tonight, I'll be gone. So as I'm watering my horses, he disappeared, and I feel like his presence isn't on my property anymore, and he's across the road. So that's really interesting. And so some of you watching this who don't know me, the whole telepathy thing was a dream of mine. I wanted, when I was about 12 years old, to hear people's thoughts. I didn't know that it would happen first with animals. So, the bulk of my telepathic ability is with animals. I have a very direct connection with animals, and it's because I love them so much. I think that they're just on this earth, this planet, to show us love and to give us unconditional love. And for those of you who have animals, you know what I am talking about. Their love is so amazing. So that black cat was just here to give me a message, and I'm sure I won't see him again. One of my cats did stay out late one night, and I feel that he laid a licking on him, and I was like, oh, that's good, but not so good because the cat was still here. So obviously it wasn't here to fight or gain territory. It was just here to deliver a message for me, which I consider that an honor, that this stray cat came into my yard and just was waiting for me to connect with it. And that's not something that I have done before, to say, hey, kitty, because usually it's like, oh, not another cat, on acreage, You can never have too many cats, but you don't want everybody else's cat at your place too, right? Because then you end up having tons of cats, and cats, they do fight, because I've had cats come to my place before and pick a fight with my Earl kitty. So, that is a pretty neat message, and that came to my mind just because I was open. So being open means that you have opened your mind to possibilities, and that you trust that the information coming into your mind is from a source, and then it's up to you to discern what the source is. Okay, where is this message coming from, or how do I have this knowing? How do I just know it's a message, and how do I know I'm not going crazy? Because a lot of people mistake mental instability for telepathy and things for mental instability. That's what I'm getting at. But So you are meant to have a lot of faith that the message is coming into your mind. That doesn't mean that you're losing your marbles. It just means that you're open to a higher vibration, a higher frequency. Oh, here's my guest. This is the guy that wanted to talk to you. So this is Tommy, and he said that he wanted to be on my video, so he's going to be on here for 5 minutes. Look how beautiful he is, hey? So Tommy, he said he wanted to talk to you. He said, this is interesting, he said that he's a great creator and a great manifester. So Tommy came to, he said, don't tell the story about how I came into your life. He says, I want to talk now. So he said he wanted to tell you that he especially likes wet food because it keeps his worm content down in his body. And I found that after I started feeding my cats only wet food in the morning and dry food in the evening, the other cats didn't have worms and he was still a little wormy, so I put ground pumpkin seeds. He's like, back to me. So he said, I want you to notice the size that I am. And he said, I had lives where he said I was a tiger. Oh, and Zach, he wants to be on here for 10 minutes. So 10 minutes, you can come and get him. So he said that he was a tiger. He was a Bengal tiger in India. Oh, he's purring now. And he said, what he liked the best about being a Bengal tiger was his throaty roar, because he said he sounded really fierce, but he said he's just a great big pussycat then. And he was actually trained to do certain tricks for like a prince or someone like that. He lived in a palace. So he said he used to go around and scare the guards. So as I'm like, his thoughts get into my mind. That's with telepathy, right? So he said he used to play tricks on the guards too, and he would hide around the corner, and then they would come around the corner and he'd like jump out and go Rawr! and roar at them. So he said he had lots of fun with them. He said he had lots of fun, and he said that Karen, I was like a little prince in the palace, and that I used to hang out with him, and I used to sleep by his belly. So he's come back to me in this life to be my companion, and he said that he would help me manifest my dreams and my goals, which is fantastic. I was going through a tough time a while ago, and I heard from Spirit to let him sleep in my bedroom for 7 days, and I don't let the cat sleep in my bed because they like to need my covers, and they'll puncture my duvet and they're all hairy, and then they always do weird stuff to me, like they'll like lay on top of me, or they'll want to go outside in the middle of the night or whatever. So I sleep just without my cats in my bed, except for the nights that he slept with me. So I got a really interesting feeling, excitement in my solar plexus from him. And he wanted to tell you what happened the first night he went in. I think it was the first or the second night. So he told me I had stuck energy that I needed moving. And so he wanted to be with me for 7 nights. So he slept in my bed. And the one night he was in my bed, I saw in my mind's eye these sparkles of light that were coming from him. And he just said he was clearing the negative energy around me from past lives that I had, where I had been a victim, many lives, and where I've had low abundance and low self-esteem. And he said, oh, not low self-esteem. He said, you never really had that. That's probably true. And he just said that I really was coming from a place of lack, and he wanted to help me shift that. And I'm really grateful that I have him, because, he wasn't our cat. He just adopted us. And so when we moved to this acreage, we asked our neighbor if we could take him, and we were allowed to. So that was good. So he's like, back to me. So he said he had another life in Africa, he said near South Africa, where he was a lion. Oh my goodness. And he had that beautiful, beautiful mane. And he said he had like a male companion, a young boy that used to hang out with him. And it was my son Zach in that life. So Tommy knows Zach very well. And often if Zach leaves his bedroom door open, Tommy will sneak in there and lay on his bed. So he said he loves his son, like my son, very much, but he said he has chosen to be my companion in this life. And so he says he's content to be a big cat. He really likes it. And he also likes being a little chubby, because he's had some lives where he starved to death. He said he was a street dog in Brazil, where he starved to death. and contracted some weird bacteria from eating out of a tin can, like ugh. And he said he said he was a kangaroo in Australia. He said that was really fun because he liked to bounce. And he said in this life he's not really active, but he said it was from that life he's enabled this body to run really fast. Yeah, this dude is big. He's a big cat, but he can run. And the people who had him before us, they called him Turbo. We called him Tommy because when we got him, he was a tomcat, and he got fixed. So since then, he's gotten a lot bigger and jumped up. He just really likes being big. And you know what's so beautiful about him? Look how pink his nose is. It actually doesn't look that pink on camera, but it's like, oh, wow, hey? So I wanted to tell you that you have the ability to be telepathic, and that's how we were before the fall of man, where we were bad and lost our ability to be telepathic, but that's what we did before. So he's like, back to me. So he wanted to tell you how much he loves being on on YouTube, and that he said he'd like to come back and talk to you again because he said he only wanted to be on for 10 minutes. I had initially thought, 5 minutes is good, but see, I was getting restless. And, you know, he doesn't really like to be held, but I don't let him go loose in my office because cats like to, they like to wreck things. And you know what he just said? He said that he really doesn't like how goofy his meow is, how high-pitched it was. You know, and I always had a feeling that he may have had a life where he had his vocal cords cut, and he confirmed that, yes, he did. He had a life as a dog, and all he would do is bark all the time. So they actually cut his vocal cords because he was like, ah, ah, ah. So it affected his voice in this life because he said, oh, this is interesting. You know, I do past life regression, and every life we have a lesson to learn. And he said animals do as well. And so he was meant to be grateful that the owners who had taken him in, because he was a homeless dog, he came from a shelter, he was to be grateful to them, and he was to shut his mouth, and he just couldn't, because he said he couldn't control himself. Like, he was just a yappy dog. He was like a little Chihuahua crossed with something else, like a Doberman or something. It was weird. Doberman, like a Min Pin? No, he said like a real Doberman. Okay, that's interesting. And he said he just couldn't shut his mouth. Like, couldn't stop barking. So they warned him, and he didn't listen because, you know, he's like, who cares? He said dogs like that didn't listen. And so he got his vocal cords cut. And it actually has affected how goofy his meow is because it's just so high-pitched and squeaky and weird that... And you know what? When I was listening to him meow, I think it was last year. He sounds like his vocal cords got damaged or something like that, and he confirmed that it did. So I do a lot of pet whispering, and I do pet healings as well. So whenever my kitties have something weird going on, like a tummy ache or something, oh, thank you. He's like, back to me. I'll give them Reiki, and he said, oh, I could give him Reiki on his throat, and I could do that later on. And you know the nice thing? Oh, yeah, it's just about your time to go. I don't let him go. I know, honey. Oh, did you hear that? That sounded better than how his meow usually is. Who wouldn't love a cat like this? Hey, he's so beautiful. He's quite proud of being beautiful, and he wants to go, hey, Zach, can you come and get him? Yeah, he just said he was showing how tough he is because he's not like getting angry or anything, but he's just tired of sitting on my lap because it's quite warm in here and he has lots of fur. I hope my son comes and gets him soon. Oh, here we go. Thank you. Make sure you shut the door. So that's Tommy's story. So he got his 9 minutes of glory on his first YouTube appearance, and hopefully my other cats will be making an appearance too because they have messages to tell you. And you know, I feel that my horse will be talking to you as well. He really has changed a lot. I met this wonderful woman. I went to a gathering in Spruce Grove called the Enjoy Gathering. And there was a woman there, Emma, who is a photographer, and she's started this movement for people to appreciate their beauty. It's called Be Beautiful, or B-U-T, yeah, something like that. It's B-E-Y-O-U-T-Y. And so I just went to hear her talk because I thought, hey, it sounds interesting. But I met this woman in that Enjoy gathering, and wow, when I heard her speak and about energy and how to not manipulate energy, but how to have your mindset to manifest miracles, I was hooked. Like, I need to talk to this woman. So we've met a couple times, and hopefully, if things go my way, and they usually do, 99.999% of the time, she'll be on here talking to you in my spirit video about, we'll talk about the work that we've been doing for various causes right now, and how amazing when our minds are together, what effects they have. Because did you know when you hang out with like-minded people, you literally can create transformations like that? And we'll be talking about that, the things that we have created, she has created, I have created throughout this, our lifetimes, and also in unison by being joined together. Because your mind is so powerful. The one thing I wanted to talk about too is when that photographer Emma was talking about affirmations. This is something interesting that I feel, if you don't know this already, it would be very useful to use in your life. So your subconscious mind is 90% of everything you are, right? So it's driving your bus. Your conscious mind is 10% of who you are. Often people use affirmations to try to change their life. Often those affirmations don't work because they don't match the energy of the subconscious mind. So how do we get around that? Well, we look at, I want you to think of one behavior about yourself that you don't like. So one thing. And then, so lots of times you think, why do I do this? Or why am I such an idiot? So take one behavior that is a negative behavior that you have. And I want you to think what it is. For example, if you take your time to do things, you're a procrastinator. I want you to take that negative behavior and I want you to turn it into an action. So it's positive action. So if you're a procrastinator, you turn it into a statement like, I am a go-getter, or I take care of things as they come up, or something like that, something along that line. And so when something occurs and you don't want to deal with it, you remind yourself, I handle things as they come to me. And then you're like, I don't want to do this, but I'm going to do it. And that's how an affirmation can work for you. And that's how it can actually change your behavior. Actually, you have to force yourself to do that thing. All right. That's why, when you choose affirmations and they're just like generic ones and I want to be like that, they don't always work because you may have something that you need to move through, right, to force yourself to be on the other side, the good side of the negative behavior. And that's how you're meant to create affirmations that work for you. So my suggestion is just start with 1 and then work up to 5 and then do 5 at once. Like, so you'll be, here's a terrible, this one just came to mind. They planted it in my head. My guides did. My trainer guide did. People say, I just come home from work and, I just want to sit on the couch and watch TV. So they say, oh, I'm lazy. Well, that's an affirmation, right? So it makes you lazy. And there are days when I don't want to go to the gym, but I go anyways because I know how good it feels after. And I know that it's really good for your immune system. It's good for weight control. It's good to be strong as you age, be stronger. So those are ideas that I carry with me as I walk in that door, and that I know as I get into my routine, I feel really good. So think of a negative behavior that you have and then turn it into a positive affirmation and an action. It's actually, you know what? That's the best way to do it, is to turn it into an action. Say you want to create something, and this is a great example. That light went kind of weird there. This is a great example. So many people say, oh, I want to write a book. And years ago, someone told me that, and I said, well, here, you've got great ideas. All you have to do is write 1 page a day. Because in the span of a year, You could have 365 pages for your book, and all you need is 1 page a day. So what if I don't have time? Well, you schedule it into your time, and you choose the time that feels right for you. So say if you have great ideas in the morning, your brain is nice and fresh and empty and like full of information you could channel from the source into your writing right in the morning. If you find the only quiet time you have, say, is late afternoon, do it late afternoon. Do it at a time where it feels right, where it feels good, and you can afford that time to write. So that's how to write a book. Of course, you have to have ideas. But here's what happens when you do that 1 page a day. Sometimes you might find, oh, I've written 2 pages a day. Oh no. And then the flow happens, and then you get into that routine, right? Of writing that book, and you have the book written, and there it is. Voila, your book is ready. Doesn't mean it's ready for publication. Could be, but you actually have taken that idea and you've made it into an activity, because your brain is wonderful, like your mind is wonderful, and it has so many ideas and has so many ways to help you. But when ideas are just ideas and you haven't created an action from that idea, then you just have ideas and they're just, But people who have taken action on their ideas have made a lot of money because they were in the right place at the right time. They were using an idea that was channeled to them from the source, and they felt inspired. So inspired is when you're filled with inspiration. It's literally the breath of spirit is within you. And it does come through your mind, because your mind is so amazing. Your mind has been with you in every single life you've ever had. Whether you've been an animal, vegetable, mineral, plant, whatever. It has always been with you. And so when you practice, you make a meditation practice, or if you go to and have a past life regression hypnotherapy session, you can gain the information from your subconscious mind of who you have been and who you will be in future lives, because everything is on a continuum. Everything is happening all at once in your mind with your spirit. It's only in this physical body we've made it inert, so it's stationary. So it's like, I have only the here and now, the present. You have the past, it's gone. You have the future, you can create it. And when you enjoy the present moment, being happy of where you are right now and who you have created yourself to be, wow, your life just becomes amazing. And some people, to talk a little bit about jealousy, because it comes up sometimes as dislike, and I do talk to people about it if they feel they're unliked or whatever, and people are jealous of them. That comes from that other person, because they actually don't like who they are, and so maybe they see a bright light in you, or maybe they see that you're peaceful. Maybe they see you as being successful. Maybe they see you as being happy, and they wonder, how did you get there? And why can't I have that? And therefore I'm gonna dislike you, and I might even pick on you because you got something I want. So I'm gonna make you try to feel bad like I feel. But that never works, because when you work on yourself, you're like, la la la, I feel so happy. So I think that's a weapon to take back with you to work, or to school, or to wherever you sometimes have that difficult person who's trying to get you and trying to make you feel bad, and you just no, I'm not playing that. That wonderful woman that I met, I'm not allowed to tell you. That's good, because I don't want to tell you. I want her to tell you. I know she's a little shy about being on the video, but you are going to love her, because, man, she has an insight that just makes me so excited. When I talk to people who keep their vibration nice and high and have an intellect and a knowing, a psychic intelligence, whoa, that is right here in my heart. It's like, and I hope that she'll be willing to share herself with you, because she's a fantastic individual. So that is it for my mind video. I'm having the guides. oh, this is interesting. I heard, like, I'm really honored. I feel like I want to cry. I heard that God wants to talk to you. And I'm like, whoa. But this godlike presence said, not yet. He or she, it, I don't even know what to say. It's a God. Okay, said, just for you to be aware that right now what's going on in the world, this is March in 2020, is a no love zone, what's going on. So you know what I'm talking about. I'm not even going to mention it. Don't mention the name and stuff like that because I don't want to give it energy and give it power and give it strength. So don't do that. But God said for you to keep the love for people and humanity in your heart and to keep being part of the healing force that you are, because your love is actually what heals people. As I talk about this, it's interesting. I can feel the heat and the love from that right to my back. It's like, I've never felt that before. That's pretty amazing. And God is saying that the videos that I'm making to help you have helped you transcend boundaries. When you watch these, helps you transcend boundaries that you normally think you couldn't because of some pre-programming that you had early on in your lives. So when we get that programming, we don't even remember it because it's happened to us before we can actually walk and talk and people tell us things, and then it becomes an implant, right? And so you grow up believing, you'll never be wealthy. You'll never amount to anything. You're just a woman. You're just a boy. You're just, and you have all that just, and it comes along with you like luggage. And you think as you go through your life, oh, I'm worthless. I'm useless. But that's not really you. That's not the authentic you. And that's certainly not the spiritual you, because the spiritual you would never think that. Okay. So I'm hearing this to tell you. It's like it's coming like right through my mouth, but it's not for me. Spirit said to me to stop talking about myself in a derogatory manner, because I used to make a joke and say, "Oh, I'm not that smart," or whatever. You are very smart. So I want to tell you how much I love you for watching these videos, and I know that the fact that we can do this is phenomenal, right? We can just make a video and put it out there, and whoever is meant to watch it will. And if you're trying to make it big on social media, you're not getting to where you want to be. Just be mindful of, think of quality and not quantity, because quantity doesn't always mean that you're successful, but quality and having the right kind of viewers means that you're making your mark in the world and you're doing exactly what you're meant to do, and you're in the place that you're meant to be. So just be mindful of that and know that, oh, this is so sweet. God said quality is like the most important thing, and quantity means nothing. It doesn't matter how much stuff you have. It doesn't matter how many children you produce. It doesn't matter how many horses you have. They're making a joke to me because when my husband was alive, we used to just collect horses. We'd have so much fun just collecting horses. And so I always used to make a joke and say, if you have one bum, you should only have one horse, because you can't be riding more than that. But now I realize that, it's a good idea for your horse to have a friend and things like that, or maybe have a horse for your friends to ride. So the powers that be, spirit, and my guides, and your guides even too, saying that this is a time on the planet to transcend boundaries that have been placed rigidly on you. And if you have issues coming up in your life that are making you feel like nervous and on edge and uncomfortable, they're saying that's good. They're saying that you are on the right path, because the right path isn't always easy. The right path becomes easier as you become more authentic, and that is certainly something. This is beautiful, they said, to take with you to the grave, because people will never ever remember what you had. They will always remember how you made them feel. And I hope you take that with you when you go into work the next day, or when you're spending time with your family, and how you make them feel. Especially children. Children are so amazing, I just love them. Especially my son, he gets to be my little extra and bring in the cats and whoever I'm meant to talk to. So that's really good. So thank you so much for watching once again. And we'll see you in my next video, which is all about the body.